Here's the new range vent by Isohu. Stainless steel. It has a built-in cord, 3-prong cord. This is where the vent air flaps up to go out to the roof. A couple little low profile fans in here. Got to be cleaned up, stainless steel. Take a look under here. It's got a little LED set of controls and fans and so forth I'll go over later. Generally it has a light, it has a fan, and it has hand sensing, so you don't have to touch the buttons to control it. Got the LED lights right here and here. There's little depression screens you can take out. And there's your 2 fans. And it's supposed to be pretty quiet, which I'm looking forward to. This is the space it has to put in. The old one works. It's really noisy and it's dirty and 15 years old. Time to replace it. But my installation has an existing vent up to the roof, so I don't need to mess with that. I do need to cut this metal tape off, and there are 4 screws that hold this on from underneath. The thing that's interesting is I don't know where the power cord is on this one. I don't know if it's hardwired in the box or if it's a plug-in. But the new one's a plug-in, and I don't see any plug-in here, which means it may be up underneath here. Oh, there's a cord. And we'll see how we have to rig that one. So on the new one, the cord comes out the top, and I don't know how that's going to work when it's flush. I don't know if it's flat wood underneath on top of the other range top or not. However, it's one of these plugs that I can open up, and I can move it to the back if I have to, or come out some other way. We'll figure that out when I get the old one down. Hopefully it's not an issue. Otherwise, I'll just cut this and connect the wires. Hopefully, like I said, there's an electrical box that all this stuff fits into in the old system. Parts bag has 8 mollies and 8 screw, and then there's a remote control you can use with this system. Kind of cool. It's supposed to have high airflow, powerful motor, low noise operation. First thing to do is shut the power off. Okay, ready? Okay, I think we look here, it's just a tape across the back of this hood thing underneath here. It'll be interesting putting it back together. Yeah, basically just undo this tape and the whole unit will come down because it's too hard to get all the screws in the back. And then lift it up as one unit. So we're going to lower this and then we're going to look for wires. Okay, you see my electrical wire coming out of the wall. That's binding it. I took the little cover off. I see the wire coming in, and it was just wing nutted right in here. The blacks to the black, the whites to the white, and then ground. So there's no box to contain all the wires. Okay, we got it out. It's a lot of wire. Romex. There's a couple holes here for some reason. They didn't plug up one of them. And we're going to clean all this out. Only got one little scratch over here. I can put some stain on there. Take it off before I get in trouble. The question is, what do I do now? I have that 3-prong wire. This one was all bunched underneath the range hood, which I could do. Or I could bring this up into here and then put a plug up in here and plug the other one in, which means there'd be a bunch of wires back over here. That's not a bad idea. Or I just do what they did and cut the wire and connect them. This is a little painful to work with, very rigid. So that's what I'm thinking to do. I got a UL listed plastic box, added the switch, ran the wire up, and then I plastered the wire into the wall so it would be covered. Only a little bit is exposed, but that's not out to the open anyway. Works great. All right then, let's give it a try. I've got this little tester I'm going to plug in, turn the breaker on. It should be white and 2 orange lights, neutral and 2 orange. Let's see what happens. By the way, after I install this plug, check the voltage. 120 is good. I took apart this venting, and came off the bottom. This is the little air flap, and it's a lot taller. And the question is, with that gone and this piece left, I just tape this top back on. This goes into the hole in the wall. This has to go in here. Slides over this. And if it's all the way down, it's about a ½ inch too short. So I may just have to come up, tack some screws in there, and I'm going to go all around that bottom with metal tape anyway. I have a good 1.5 inches. I think if I elevate it a little, there's not any pressure on this. Yeah, so we'll see. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get this box thing, a longer one, or find some sheet metal to extend, put an extension on the bottom of this. So I don't really feel like messing with. By the way, I should mention that you can take this back off and put it on here and have your vent come out the back if you want to also. Just move this down. I have a little snag. The manual says replace this because this is too noisy. That's doesn't really make sense, but it just screws in. There's these little metal tabs. Really all you have to do is put like a piece of aquarium hose over them. Makes that noise. This is the old one I took apart. It does raise it up higher, which solves my length problem. And it used to have little black tabs, and I took the old one off, put a piece of aquarium hose. So I can't put screws on this side because there's stuff under here, but I can put some screws here on this one. And this is all going to be taped in anyway, so I may just go with this one. Okay, I got some self-tapping screws. Drill the hole, and then I put some hex head screws on here on both sides. And that's in there. I don't even know if I need to put one on this side. Let's make sure it's holding on there. Okay, I'm going to go with this approach, and that will get me to the height I need. I may even have to lower this a little bit. All right, I'm going to tape all this up. Make sure I measure this correctly. I think it's about 17 from here to the bottom. And tape this up. And then when it's in place, the only thing I need to do is put tape around this that goes into the wall. A little difficult, but the other option would be tape this one into the wall and then affix it here and tape this. Okay, we got a piece of plywood. Shimmed it up there, shimmed it up here against the top. That's just great. We got our first screw in right here. I'm going to put one in the back now, and on all four of them. And I'm going to put some maybe here. Get the screws in. I got two on the top. I put one in the back. One in the back, two on the top. That's on there. Okay. I'm going to go up and test it before I figure out how to tape all this up. Get the power in. I was going to take all that cord, put it underneath here, but this just holds some glasses up here we never use, so that's okay. I have to tape all this off and then tape the elbow. But let's test it out manually. Power on, fan on. Watch this. There it is. Got it to fit. I got the back end and this end. This was in, and I got the back end. I just sort of cockeyed that and just taped it all up. That looks just like it used to look. Okay. Okay, got some help from the young man here. How do you turn it on with the remote control?
You push the on button.
So that just turns the power on. And how do you turn the light on? Okay, and turn the light off. All right, and then you have some other buttons. What is this little that's the light fan. What does that circular button do?
You can turn on the fan by increments. So that's 1.
Starts at 1, 3, 4. Okay, it loops around. And what does the fan next to it do?
It automatically goes to level
Automatic
4.
goes forward. Does it do anything else?
No.
No. Okay. All right. And what are the plus and minus at the top for? Oh, I see. That's plus here is like going plus here. It goes up. And minus is like going minus. Goes down. Okay. And that, by the way, that's the, we'll go over the timers, but that's, you see the motion sensor and motion sensor. If your hand goes past both, this one decreases at minus, but it will go around. So once it's off, it's going to go back to 4 again. It goes in a circle. This goes up. Okay. And what is the little clock symbol for on the remote control?
It's for how long the fans will be on. So
The timer?
Yeah, the timer's for how long the fan will be on. So if you have to click the clock, that's the default 3 minutes. And then let's just say 6 minutes is what I want.
About 9. Okay, so the timer started. Can you hit 9 now?
No, I have to restart
Reset it.
Which
Okay.
9, I click 9, and after a couple of seconds,
go through all of them?
begin.
Okay, it's on 8. Go through all the time so I can see them.
There's 6, 3, 1, 9.
Okay. And so put it on 1. Of course, you're going to have to restart it because it already started. And let's see what happens now. It's going to time down. Okay, it's timing down. Is there a way to adjust the brightness with the remote control?
No,
Didn't find it?
it just turns it off.
Okay. And so what's going to shut off? Everything?
Everything will shut off.
The light and the fan?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so you turn the power on, turn the fan on low, and then you hit the timer and you hit the plus and minus at the top, and it'll change it by 1 minute increments in the timer going up to where? Goes up to 15, right? Okay, and then back down to 1. So these will cycle through the timer mode when the timer's blinking. And then once it starts counting down, I don't think these work anymore, do they? No, you have to reset it. Okay, if we don't want the remote control, how do we turn it on? Push the button, and how do we turn the fan on? What are the different ways? Okay, that's the motion sense. 2, keep going, 3, 4, and it cycles through. You go positive direction or you go negative direction. Okay. Okay, and then what's that little fan icon do? Oh, it starts at 1, and it's going to cycle through 1, 2, 3, 4 off. Okay, and how do you work the timer manually? Put it on, turn the fan on, hit the clock icon, and then that cycles through the minutes. Okay, so you have a default of 3, and let's stop at 12, 13. Okay, and it's going to start counting down, and it'll shut everything off, but it's not going to keep working, right? So now it goes back to fan control. So when you're in the timer mode like this button will allow you to change the time. Once it starts counting down, this goes back to fan control, incrementing it. All right, how do you turn the light on? Tap it once, turn it off, tap it twice. Okay, so this is supposed to be adjustable LED. How do we do that? Turn it on, and then you hold it, it'll go down. Hold it, you have to keep holding, and now it went off. So you hold it on the way up, and hold it on the way down. Okay, so one thing you have to be careful of, if you're real tall and you walk by it real close, you turn the fan on. So he was leaning into it, but if he just walks by normally, it doesn't turn on. Let's see how close you have to be. That's about a foot. So about 8 to 10 inches. There's some diagrams in the back with the dimensions and the part numbers, but the part numbers, there's no index for the part numbers in the manual, so that thing is called number 9. There's no part number or the name of the part. Tells you how to replace the bulbs. It's a 1-year warranty on parts. This was confusing. Damper is not included because it generates noise when the shutters are flipping. We do not recommend installing damper directly attached to the top vent of the rain hood. And I don't know if they're meaning something like this or the flap on top of the unit, which I took off. It was confusing. Here's another message. It says, the vent system should have a damper. The damper can be installed in the duct near to the roof or wall cap. Not recommended to use damper on top of the range hood because the damper has big noise. That's number 1, 55, 59, 60.